Jess Block Nerren is here with us. We just talked about Fullerton Cares and their Mardi Gras for Autism that's happening on April 1st. But since we have Jess, and since she is so amazing, we're going to take just a couple more minutes of her time and talk with her and get an update. For those of you who don't know, Jess, do you want to give sort of the rundown of your life as a parent and what you guys have been through the last couple of years?
Sure, I'll give you like the 30-second version. So my son is 11, and at age 8, he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. So we already knew he had autism. We already knew he had GI conditions. We actually had no clue that he had any other health stuff going on with him. And then all of a sudden one day he turned gray at school, and his one-on-one aide, who's like his guardian angel, she called me and said, "He looks weird. You should just come in and look at him," which was a really nice way of not going, "Oh my goodness, there's a huge emergency happening right now." And as soon as I came in, he really was gray. I've never seen someone that color. He was like translucent. And, fast forward 11 hours later, we were on an ambulance ride to Children's Hospital where he was getting diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And so I took a child with autism through a 4-month chemo cancer treatment. And that was a big part of our journey together as a family.
And you've come out the other side of it. He has co-written a book about, from his experience, a children's book about the idea of overcoming something that is huge of that nature. And he is competitive racing on bicycles.
Yes.
At the age of 11.
Yeah, so he found a lot of, it's funny because looking back on it, I think in his particular very specific instance, I think some of his behaviors were kind of escalated through whatever discomfort he was unable to articulate based on his, unidentified cancer. And so as soon as he got better, it kind of freed him up to like stay a little bit more regulated and pursue some things that maybe weren't inside his comfort zone prior to that, or maybe he was just taking a new lease on life and capitalizing on, having a hospital-free day or two. But he wrote a book that was a metaphor for his journey with cancer, and, beating the bad guys were the zombies, and there was the hero that beat the bad guys. It was all in a big giant baseball zombie metaphor because, he's still an 11-year-old boy.
Right.
And we as a family, we've really found to appreciate every day that doesn't involve spending time in the hospital. You just don't realize how much freedom really gets taken away from you when you're attached to IV fluids for like 14 hours a day sometimes to get your medicine. And so, even on our worst day, we'll kind of look at each other and go, "You know what? Today was kind of a bad day, but we know what a really bad day is. So this was no big deal at all." And it's kind of helped us to come together, and it's really kind of helped us to appreciate every day. We say all the time, we're like, life is short, time's precious. If we went and saw the big bloom of the poppies the other day, and we were tired and it was getting late in the day. And it's like, no, life is short and time is precious. And there is a giant hillside filled with really cool flowers that apparently bloom like once every 10 years because of the drought. So like, we got to go do that right now. So we really tried to take the lessons that we could from that experience and put them in the best possible light.
And I want to say for people, I started when I introduced you and said that you are a ray of sunshine and you spread light wherever you go, and clearly people can see that. And I said your smile, you can see it from a mile away, it radiates. And you're smiling about this now, but I want to make sure that people who are watching, who are going through difficult things, know that there was no way that you could maintain that level of happiness through this whole journey. It was hard, right, Jess?
It was hard. And it's funny because one of the things that helped my son through it was keeping it light. So I had to learn to kind of modify my behavior because that was what helped him. So, if I was having my hard day, I'd kind of have my hard day elsewhere and then go back to playing Yahtzee with my son, which is a weird irony because sometimes, the most healing thing is if it's hard for it to just be hard. So I had to kind of navigate like a tightrope with that sometimes, but really and truly because like my son didn't really fully understand how serious it was, I think. And so he would go back to school and brag about, oh, we were at Children's Hospital, LA, which I love and I have to give a shout out to because they're the most amazing place on earth. But he would go back to school and brag about the playroom at the hospital and make all of his friends jealous about the cool playroom he got to play in. He would be really excited to play with all the child life specialists because they would make it so fun for him. And so in a good way, he was kind of insulated from it. And in a good way, that kind of gave us the space to, just kind of go through every day with some degree of normalcy. But absolutely, having a child with co-occurring comorbid conditions at the same time is incredibly difficult, no matter what those may be. And, we're just incredibly thankful. We had no idea the level of resources out there. And since then, we've actually even had the opportunity through people we met through your show, Shannon, to give input on National Institute of Health studies regarding children with autism and comorbid conditions so that hospitals can serve that population even better. So there's a lot to be learned and a lot of growth still yet to be made. But there was a lot of help that was given to us, and we needed a lot of help along the way. So we're thankful for all of that.
Well, you are an amazing person. I've said that before, and I'll say that, to my dying day. You are an amazing person, and watching you go through that was truly one of the most inspirational things I've ever seen. But I don't ever want somebody to think that Jess, it was just like, oh, well, whatever. It was a very serious thing, and you handled it like a champ. And your son is amazing. And
he's the most amazing person I know.
We've invited him before to be on the show, and I love that. I'll say to him, "Would you like to be on the show to talk about that?" And he goes, "No," and he's 100% like in himself and secure and like okay with saying, "No, I don't need to do that." He gave permission for.
Guy, it freaks him out for some reason. He just cannot handle it. So,
but he one day. I love that I've been asking him for 2 years. So at 9, he was able to be self-possessed enough to say, no, I don't want to do that. And know that he didn't have to do that, which speaks to the way that you're parenting. But he's an amazing kid. But he did give us permission. So we if people want to go back into the archives, the last time you were on, we had Sasha George, who co-wrote the book with him and illustrated the book. She was on the show, and you guys can watch that to see more about I apologize that I cannot pull up in my memory banks what the name of the book is.
It's called Strike One. It's kind of in a comic book / graphic novel format. It's your classic hero versus bad guy tale.
And I love it for so many reasons. I love it because it was a way for him to language everything that happened in a way that was meaningful to him. But I remember when you were coming in the early days, while you were still in it, and you were looking for resources to find, and you were so brave to do that. You were like, I want to talk to other people who've been through this. I want to know, how has this gone for other people? And, I know you were able to find some things, but we were all kind of like, my goodness, are there resources for this?
There's not that much.
Right?
No,
and so you have your family have become a great resource for that. And I know that you speak, and if people want to have you come and speak at an event, they should definitely book you to do that. They should reach out to you and have you to come and speak because it's amazing. And they should definitely, if they know a family that's going through that, purchase the book, Strike One, and breathe some of the air. Breathe some of your surviving and thriving air to know that that's possible because you've come through it and come through it so beautifully.
Thank you so much, Shannon. You're the best.
No,
You've been such a friend to us all the time. We adore you. You're amazing.
Well, I think that you are amazing. I think there's something in the water down in that area. I thought you lived in Fullerton, but now I know that you live outside of Fullerton. But I know you're there a lot. I think there is something in the water in Fullerton.
There must be. Right?
I'm going to ask the mayor next week.
There you go.
What's in the water?
He's the perfect primary source to give you the scoop on that.
All right. Well, Jess, we thank you so much. I cannot wait to see you at the Mardi Gras for Autism. It's on April 1st. People should come to it. It is a free event. Come and bring everything. And if you've been saying, if there's a friend of yours that has neurotypical kids who keep saying, we should get together, and you've been like, what would we go and do? Take them to this. Bring all the kids. They will have a blast. It will be a really wonderful time. So, Jess, thank you so much. Give my love to everybody at Fullerton Cares. And of course, give my love to your fabulous son.
Thank you, Shannon. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.
Take care.